morning, everyone, and happy Saturday. My name is Callie, and this is another weekend of clarinets, cats, and coffee. In today's video, I am giving you another study from the Demnet's arpeggio studies, and I love this one. I think it sounds really cool and kind of sneaky and spooky, and so sometimes I just get this stuck in my head. I do have students who will work on this regularly, but it is really fun to practice, and you kind of like accidentally learn your D minor arpeggios whenever you're practicing this. So I'm excited to work on this with you today. Before we get into that, I want to thank my patrons for supporting my channel. And as a thank you to all of my patrons, I have created an ebook, which is a compilation of all of the excerpts and etudes that I have put up on my channel over time. And I've included an index of all of the videos that correspond with the with clickable links that correspond with the etudes, and the page numbers where you can find all of the etudes, and the category of pedagogy that each of the etudes belongs in. So I'm very excited about this new perk for my patrons, and I can't wait for you guys to be able to look at this on your own too. All right, so this little D minor etude, as I said, it is a good one to accidentally learn your D minor arpeggios, so I love that. And over the past few weeks, we've talked a lot about articulation and articulation basics, so I'm not going to cover that so much in this, but what I am going to cover is one of the biggest issues that I hear with this when new people learn this, and that is keeping a very steady tempo. This is andante con moto, so andante with motion, and I like to think of this more in cut time, like a slow cut time rather than in 4/4 time. I don't know, somewhere around like 69 or 72. You can go back and check with your metronome to see what I actually play it at, because now I don't remember. But anyway, so the tendency here is actually to rush, because when we're playing staccato quarter notes, nobody likes that awkward silence in between the notes, and so we want to fill it with the next note, but we can't do that if we actually want to stay in time. Okay, so just think about it as being like a little ticking clock. It can be absolutely charming and so much fun to play if you really focus on trying to keep those staccato quarter notes right in the pocket. The other awkward silence that nobody wants to acknowledge is the 8th note rest on beat 3, or on big beat 2 if you're counting in cut time. And I'm talking about here like measure 2, 6, 6, and the like. So if you've got your tick-tock clock kind of going in your head, dun, 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 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1. So what I like to imagine is that little upbeat right there on measure 2, the and of 3. Instead of thinking about it as being like the and of 3 and then going to beat 4 and then playing the and of 4, imagine that the and of 3 is a pickup note to beat 4. So then you'll be less likely to play that and of 3 too early, right? And it'll give you a little bit of forward motion into the next measure. Da 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 da, dee da 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 dee da dee dum. And 4 and 1. And then as an added bonus, if you think about all 3 of those 8th notes as being pickup notes to the next measure, you'll be more likely to give it that forward motion. But be careful when thinking that way, because again, the tendency when you're doing this awkward, slow-ish, but not slow and kind of fast tempo, the tendency is to compress the space the empty space in between any staccatos, including those eighth notes. Okay, so think about that as being a pickup note and trying to line up exactly with the click on beat 4. Beep, ba, da, ba, ba, ba. Ba, 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 bum, ba, 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 beep, ba, dum, ba, ba, bum. So pretty straightforward there. All right. And so if that wasn't enough, by the time we get about a little over halfway through, then he's like, you know what? I just want to make sure that you're not relying on your tongue to play in time too much. So we're going to throw in some slurring here to make sure that you actually have rhythm in your fingers. So I'm talking about the 6th line down. You've got that random line of slurred notes. And so what you want right there is to really feel the rhythm in your fingers and make sure you're not going too fast or too slow, but staying right in time. It is very comfortable to play and it can be very easy, so don't let yourself rush through that arpeggiated line. And if you think about your clock, dee da 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 dee da 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 dee ba da dee da 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 dee da 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 dee da 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 dee ba da bee da ba ba bee ba ba bee. Then you kind of go back to the theme, okay? So that's pretty much it for this one. Let me know if you guys have any tips or tricks that you want to share for keeping really good time. Like I always say, a metronome is very helpful, but you don't want to always necessarily rely on the metronome. You want to be able to rely on your internal subdivision and your pulse. So practice with the metronome, but also practice without it and test yourself, record yourself, see if you're keeping good time or if you're pushing forward, okay? So thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget, I have a Facebook group, so if you guys are having a good day and you're like, man, I love this little etude, record it, put it up on the Facebook group, share it so we can all learn from each other and share tips and tricks and all kinds of stuff. Can't wait to hear you guys play this, and I hope you have a good weekend this week, a good week next week, and as always, happy practicing.